you should now have a very, very high quality agent who is capable of carrying out the task with a high level of results. So once again, if they do something well or something not so well, you tell them as soon as it's good and you tell them when it's not, with the necessary explanations. Now, the question of collaboration will arise, because in fact, artificial intelligence is in some ways an individual adventure. We're going to create our own agent and we'll be able to standardize our tasks. But there will also be an adventure that happens at scale, at the company level, or even at the industry level if we want. So in our case, let's say we like this agent, it's capable of carrying out its mission, it's even at a very high level if we want. You can now give some of your colleagues access to this agent. We've already said colleagues, but it could also be friends. And as you can see here, you have your agent. If you don't see it, click on Discover the Gems. There, you have your agent. You can click on the little share button. And as soon as you click on share, there are different levels of sharing that I'll show you. You can give access directly to an email address or to a group of people if you want, if you're part of an organization. And this is really linked to Gemini. But most of them give you access to share with just one person, an individual. I can click directly on it and have it. But you can also make it public directly. So here, look, anyone with the link can, what can they do without serving? So viewer means they can use it. But editor also means they can modify it. So here, once again, there's an important point, and I'd rather talk to you about it in terms of business strategy, which is that you often want there to be only one person who is in charge of creating the agent. So for example, you can see I am the owner, and several people can use it. So why don't you want everyone to be able to add their own extensions, to add elements that are too similar to themselves, or because they have a poor understanding of the agent? That's why it's better to keep control over the artificial intelligence you've created, to prevent others from starting to modify it and do whatever they want. So generally what I do is, as soon as it's an agent that's public, not for a company, I give people direct access with the link, as long as it's not something too private. Otherwise, I'll add groups of people or individuals by adding their emails. Here, you can see that it works with everything. It's not just Gmail, it works really, really well. In any case, this tool is of course an iterative tool. You can also see that readers can leave comments to say if things are okay, if they're not, or if there are any issues. So don't hesitate to encourage people, encourage your collaborators to always work on improving this agent. By the way, you can also disable sharing if you realize that the agent has caused problems or if it's not necessarily very effective. And once you've done that, you have the link, you can share it, and you really have an AI somewhere that you've trained, which your collaborators can use. And for once, this is a concept that's going to be universal in the sense that you'll be able to use it on Gemini, on ChangeGPT, but also on Perplexity. You can see a little share button. So what's interesting here is that the goal was to move quickly so that you have something of very high, well, in terms of quality, something very high. But now, if you want to continue, there's a whole other part about Perplexity, its strengths and weaknesses, and the capabilities of the agents I've created. Actually, in my career with Perplexity, there will also be the question of paid versus free, the methods and features that really allow you to multiply the efficiency of these agents, no matter the task, whether it's Excel, document analysis, but also the presence of the agent concept absolutely everywhere. But really in places you wouldn't expect. For example, there's a tool called NotebookLM, which comes from Gemini. So it's the same brain, but it's not at all the same way of working. You'll be able to provide hundreds of thousands of pages through various sources. So these are lots of documents that are 200 to 300 pages long. And then, once again, look, sharing, it's always the same thing. But above all, look here, configure the notebook, you also have the instructions. So this concept is actually truly universal. And my goal is for you to really be able to use it to get a quick win, so a fast return on investment. But then for us to be able to go much further on all these more advanced topics, so that you can really take full advantage of this agent concept, both today and in the future.